Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I've already got my base face on and I'm ready to go. We're going to play with this palette right here. This is the ColourPop and ILoveSarhii Through My Eyes palette. This is what the inside of that palette looks like. Beautiful, and I can't wait to dive in. I think I'm going to start out with the shade Sandalwood. I'm going to flip this upside down so the mirror doesn't get in the way, but this is Sandalwood right here. And we are going to run that through the crease. And it is almost the same shade as my skin tone. So it's not really going to show up a whole lot. It's a good transition shade, or if you were trying to set the lid, it's a good color for that. I'm thinking I want to go in with the shade Nostalgia, which is this one right here, and it's a pinky, mauve pinky shade. And I'm just gonna basically put that sloppily through the crease. And it's coming off more with a red undertone than the mauve. It's a beautiful color. I am so glad that I was able to pick up this palette. I'm just blending it out and moving it up towards the brow bone. The two shades I've used so far just blend out effortlessly. They're really nice shades. I'm going to go into the shade Nocturne, and that is this one right here. It's a shimmer, and then I'm going to spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and we're going to put that on the lid. Ooh, that's beautiful. I'm getting all glammed up to go to Costco today. Who else does that? After Costco, I've got to go to work. I'm actually going to Costco. I'm getting paid to shop, so I've got to go get some supplies for the office. They used to do business delivery in our area, and they stopped doing that for whatever reason. Now I actually have to go in store and do the shopping. I do have a disability, so I have to request help, and I pretty much get a personal shopper to help me, which is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing, and it's kind of, but it's also kind of fun that I get to have somebody to shop with, but it's just, it's hard on me. I'm so used to being able to go and do things myself, and I can't anymore. So asking for help is not something that I'm good at. I think that this is one of those palettes that you definitely want to do your eyes first with, and of course I didn't. I went ahead and did my face and then went into the eyes, but using the shimmer shades, there is some fallout. I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Lucio, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's the shimmery one here on the end. And I'm going to use that on my inner corner. And I did not wet my brush this time. And it seems to be going on just fine with a dry brush. Now for the outer corner, I love to darken up my outer corner, so I'm going to go into this Divina. I'm just going to tap it on that outer corner, and I just picked up the smallest amount. It's easier to build it up than to go in heavy. And then I'm going to run what's left on the brush through the crease. That color is pretty. I'm going to take a little a clean blending brush and just do a little bit of blending. I don't want any harshness. I'm also going to take that Divina and I'm going to run that underneath my lower lash line. So I'm going to use the camera to kind of get up in there real close. And I'm kind of keeping that to like the outer 3/4 of the eye and leaving that inner corner. And I'm going to go in with the shade Flex, which is this like gunmetal kind of purpley, I think it's a duochrome. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inner portion and run it into the Divina. That color is beautiful. And then I'm gonna deepen up the Divina. I'm gonna go ahead and take Lucio, this one right here, and I'm gonna brighten up that brow bone. Just kind of make it pop a little bit there. And I think that's all I'm going to do with the palette. I'm going to go ahead and take my Avon Super Shock Gel Eyeliner. We're going to run that in the waterline. I'm going to use my Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick Liner. For lips, I'm going in with Dose of Colors, a Mauve Story. I'm going to go ahead and set my face using the UrbanDecay All Nighter Setting Spray, and then I'm going to throw on some mascara, and I'm going to use the Better Than Sex mascara, and I'll be right back. So we got the mascara on. I decided that I'm going to go ahead and put on some of this Avon Toasted Rose right on top of the Dose of Colors. Just add a hint of pink to that, and this is the final look. I'm doing 2 looks, 1 palette today. I decided that I would go ahead and do that because, you know, why not? There are so many colors in this palette, and it's just a fun, beautiful palette to play with. So, let's dive right in. This look, I'm going to go ahead and start out with the shade Wild Soul, which is this shade right here. I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. We're just going to play and see how it turns out. I've already did my base face. I got my blush and bronzer and my eyes primed, my brows done. So we're going to take this Wild Soul and we're going to run that in the crease. And I'm going to come in a little bit closer so that you can see what it is I'm doing. And just a little update, I have been using the Louise Base since I got it. What was that? Back in December, January? And I love it. I've also been using my Tatcha Silk Canvas ever since I got that, which has been maybe a month now. Both products I absolutely love. So I'm just running the shade in the crease. Building it up a little bit. It's Sunday, it's a freezing cold, wintry day. I am going to try and edit and get this video up later today. Now, where I live, we get really cold. Well, really cold meaning that we get like into the high 20s. Consistently in the winter. However, we don't get snow very often. And it's been snowing consistently for about 2 hours now. And because it had been pouring prior to that, it just started sticking. They're saying we're supposed to get 8 to 10 inches tonight. And then it's supposed to freeze. So Monday morning, tomorrow, is going to be so much fun, I'm sure, trying to get out and to work. People here where I live do not know how to drive in the snow, let alone the rain. It rains here year-round, but the people here are terrible drivers. And when it comes to snow, they think that they know what they're doing, but they have no clue. I lived in a state for like 2 years that it snowed and we would get feet of snow. And I had to drive in that. And so I feel like I know how to drive in it, but then you add the other people that don't know how to drive in it, and it's just a chaotic mess. So I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. I really want to go in with this, it's kind of a corally-ish shade called Euphoric right here. And so I'm going to use the same brush. Might be more orange now that I'm looking at it. I'm sorry if I sound plugged up. I am. fighting, trying not to get sick. I'm putting the Euphoric, that is the name of it. Yeah, okay. The one right before, or right underneath Wild Soul. And I'm running that just below the Wild Soul in my crease. And like I said, I'm not really sure. I'm hoping that this look turns out, but I honestly don't know what I'm going for. We're just playing. I kind of want to pick up some more Wild Soul, and I picked up a different brush and just kind of deepen it up just a wee bit. Get that color on there. And by the way, I don't know if I told you before, I live in the state of Oregon. So, I'm like right smack dab in the middle on I-5, like the middle of the state, but towards, it's like 60 miles to the coast for me and like 60 miles to the mountains. So I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in what's called the valley, the Willamette Valley to be specific. And yeah, we're just not used to the weather that we're getting. What's the weather like where you live? Do you get snow? If you do you get a lot of it? Like, I don't know. I know like the Midwest, I have family out there and they get a lot of snow, and you know, it's normal for them, and it doesn't stop life. Here, when it snows, everything stops. School gets canceled if you get half an inch of snow. It's pretty crazy. It's kind of dumb, but you know, people just, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to drive. It's probably safer for the kids if they do that, but you know. I'm going to also pick up that Euphoric, and I'm going to put that back in, kind of building up the color just a little bit. I kind of want it to go from the Euphoric into Wild Soul. So I'm just going back and forth between the two colors and just building as I see fit and blending it out so that there's like a gradient between the two and it's blended nicely. Like, that's kind of my plan. For my lid, I'm going to go in with Nostalgia, this one right here. And this is a matte. And I'm just going to run that on my lid. I'm going to go ahead and take that same shade and I'm going to run it underneath my lower lash line. I'm just going to use a flat brush. I'm going to go in with Lucio, which is this shimmery shade right here. And I'm going to wet my brush. Just using MAC Fix Plus to wet my brush. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the inner corner. Just so we have a little bit of a brightening up effect there. And then I'm also going to put that on my brow bone. Alright, so I got that on. I'm actually not going to do anything about deepening up the outer corner. I kind of like what's going on. So, I know, it's like, am I feeling okay? Because that's not normal. I think I want to take the really deep dark shade called Divina. And that is this one right here. And I'm going to run that underneath the lower lash line as well. I kind of want to keep it to the outer corner. And then I'm halfway thinking I'm going to, sorry, I was focusing there. I'm thinking that, I don't know why shadows don't like sticking right in that outermost part of my corner, but it's always this eye. They don't like sticking in. I'm going to take this shade and I'm also going to run it, use it as a liner. So run it across the upper lash line and see how that turns out. So I'm trying to set up a mirror here so I can see what I'm doing. And when I do this using eyeshadow, sometimes I wet it. But when I wet it, it gives a more harsh line. And I'm not sure I really want the harsh line. So something like that. And then I'm going to take my Avon Super Shock Gel eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and run that in my waterline. I know this portion of the video is much more chatty than the first look that I created because I was getting ready for work. I'm going to, I think I want to use my Flower Beauty Autumn Rose with this look. So I'm going to throw that on my lips. I'm going to go ahead and set my face using the UrbanDecay All Nighter Setting Spray. I'm going to throw on some mascara and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I put on some Better Than Sex mascara. I'm really liking this eye look. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which eye look do you prefer? Do you have this palette? Are you planning on picking up this palette? What are your thoughts? I love this palette. It has so much versatility to it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploads. And have a blessed day. I'll see you in my next video.